what I'm talking about. Wait!
Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys.
Welcome to a special edition of Higher Ed Pulse. I'm your host, Mallory Wilsey, and we're live at the 2024 AMA Symposium for the Marketing of Higher Education, bringing you conversations directly from the floor with thought leaders, innovators, and industry changemakers. Let's dive in and check the pulse of what's happening right here at the symposium. All right, we're back live at AMA. I'm sitting down with Tam Powell, the SVP of Higher Ed at BVK. Tam, we are a little more than halfway through the second day, full day of the conference. So there's been a lot of talk about a lot of things already. What themes are you hearing when you're walking around the floor?
It's been really exciting to be back here, and the energy around this place is great. But yeah, a couple of key themes, obviously AI being one of them. Everybody wants to know how to incorporate it into their departments and what's okay to do and what's not okay. So that's been interesting to see and hear. And the other theme I'm hearing is still that negative national narrative around higher education and how that's hurting us from an enrollment perspective. And we know that there are like 5% fewer freshmen coming onto campus based on the latest clearinghouse data. So, this is going to become an even more important topic, especially as we go back to an old, new administration, and we'll see what that does for us.
Yeah, this is a really important time to be talking about what the national narrative is and the perception of higher education. And I think, listeners know, it's been negative. We are not in a space right now where the public is seeing the value of the higher ed degree. I know this is a passion area for you, so let's dig into this and tell me a little bit about the research and the things you're doing at BVK to actually help move the needle and change this narrative.
Yeah, this is really exciting. This is a passion project of mine, Mallory, because I've been in higher education for 27 years now, and I've seen it change and grow, and it makes me really sad that people, generally speaking, don't understand the impact higher education has had on our nation from its very beginning. And we've morphed as a category, as an industry over the years when we needed land-grant institutions to industrialization. Now we're in a knowledge economy. We keep changing, we keep shifting. But I think we're missing a key point. There's an impact for higher education whether or not you get a degree. And I think that's the missing link, and our research has borne that out. And this campaign, this public service campaign that we're doing with our sister agency called Serve Marketing and our production partner, Bowstring Studios, to bring this to life and launch it at the national level so that all our friends in higher education and higher education adjacent industries can really have a narrative, and we can all sing the same song. But it's really about whether or not you go to college, the benefits that you get for people who have gone to college, creating things like AI that make our lives better and smoother. We need to talk about that. It's not just about the personal income that you can make over your lifetime if you go to college. That's not the message that we're saying here. It's about the impact that college has on everybody's lives.
This is incredibly important work. So thank you. Thank you for doing this. Tell us a little bit more about the research and, what type of research are you doing and how, what conclusions have you been able to draw out of it?
Because we have worked with about 7 different state systems across the U.S. in higher ed, we have a plethora of data that we've done for those initiatives to help us understand where consumers are falling short in their perceptions of higher education. We also have aligned with some research that an organization called HESA is doing. HESA's the Strategic Council on Higher Education as a Strategic Asset, HESAUS.org. And they've done some research, and there's a federal report that's going to come out that bears out that we need to support higher education at the national level for 6 key reasons. And so this campaign that we're doing is designed to reach the general consumer with those same key 6 message points.
So that begs the question, what are the message points?
Thank you for asking. It's really about, again, we need to venture beyond the economic benefit for the actual individual. And it's really about the economic prosperity that we enjoy as a nation because of all the innovation coming out of higher education. It's about a skilled workforce that's driving business, industry, and innovation. And again, we all benefit from that. It's about a functioning democracy comprised of educated citizens who are capable of critical thinking and having civil discourse when they disagree with things. That's what we're all about as a nation. It's about collective health, happiness, and well-being, and we know that people who have college educations are generally better in all of those areas. And it's about the ever-expanding opportunities that define the American dream. The American dream is changing in terms of how people define it, but this is still a catalyst for reaching that. And then, of course, it's the strong military to safeguard our freedom and our national security. But the bottom line is this all rolls up to we are losing our global competitiveness as a nation because fewer and fewer of our citizens are being educated. And that's the goal of the HESA report, and that's the goal of our campaign, is to remind people how critical this is for the well-being of our country.
So you mentioned that this is a public service campaign. So how are you bringing this messaging to life? And I happen to be sitting across from you, and I'm looking at this beautiful brochure that you have. So what are the ways that you're kind of creatively, planning to educate our nation around all of these important areas?
Well, we are in the process of producing a TV spot, an anthem spot, a 30, a 60, some 15s that really talk about all these key areas. There's going to be digital ads, there's going to be print ads, all of these things that are available to put out into the ether. What we're looking for is sponsors. Our campaign is called Proud Sponsor of College, and we're looking for sponsors who will help support this initiative so that we can continue to produce this and put it out in paid media across the United States. So we're looking for big organizations that have, social responsibility efforts around higher education. Then we're looking for endorsers within the industry, people who say, yes, I believe in this and I want my logo on your website saying, yes, I'm all about this. So we're just at the beginning stages, so I'm just beginning to talk about it. But our goal is in Q1 of 2025 that this will be out into the public for our target audience, which is 35 to 64. This is not a prospective student campaign. This is about having the average general citizen understand the value of higher education.
How are you planning to measure if your efforts actually move the needle?
That is a great question. So looking at the Gallup polls that come out year over year, we want those perception numbers to start going in the right direction instead of the wrong direction, which they've been going. And also, even though it's not a prospective student campaign, we feel like this will be the tide that can raise all the boats so that universities can come in and do their good work to get people to enroll. And we expect enrollment numbers to go up proportionally speaking, because we know there's a cliff coming, so that's all relative, but we need more people to consider going to college. And if we don't get state and federal funding, it's going to become more and more expensive, and then fewer and fewer people can go. So we have some things that we need to fix, but we feel like this will be a catalyst for all of that.
Incredible, incredible work, Tam. Thank you for giving our listeners a bit of a preview before this really does roll out in a few months' time. Before we wrap up, do you have any parting thoughts?
We'd love to hear. I'm on LinkedIn. If people want to connect with me and find out more about the campaign, we'll be pushing it out. But I'd love to hear people's thoughts. I've been socializing it here at the conference, and people are generally very excited about it. So I'm really hoping to create a sense of excitement and inertia around this. I'd love for this to be like the Got Milk campaign of higher education.
Yes, that crossed my mind a few minutes ago. I was like, this is just like Got Milk. So I love that you mentioned that. It's incredible. Well, Tam, you are doing really important work, and I am just really excited to see this come into play early next year. Where can listeners find information about this campaign today?
We can include a QR code in your show notes, and it's got the website, whycollegematters.org, and the login information, and then I can put my contact information in there as well. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor or an endorser or if you have thoughts, I'd love to hear from you. I want people to get super excited about this.
Terrific. Well, I will let you get back to all the fun here in Vegas at AMA. Listeners, keep an eye out for even more recordings across the entire network live at AMA. Tam, it's been just an absolute pleasure. We'll catch you next time. Bye-bye. The Higher Ed Pulse is part of the Enrollify podcast network. If you like this podcast, chances are you'll like other Enrollify shows too. Our podcast network is growing by the month, and we've got a plethora of marketing, enrollment, and higher ed technology shows that are jam-packed with stories, ideas, and frameworks, all designed to empower you to be a better higher ed professional. Our show helps higher ed marketers and admission pros find their next big idea and features a selection of the industry's best as your hosts. Learn from Brian Gross, Eddie Francis, Jenny Lee Fowler, and so many of your favorite leaders in higher ed. Enrollify is made possible by Element 451, the next generation AI student engagement platform, helping institutions create meaningful and personalized interactions with students. Learn more at element451.com.